Hello, crypto boys and ghouls, and welcome back to the channel, Tales from the Cryptmancer, where we feature content on play-to-earn games on the blockchain, such as Splinterlands. And in today's video, I wanted to share a clip from last night's Splinterlands TV stream on Twitch, and we talked a little bit about my updated season strategy after the SPS Ranked Battle announcement that was made yesterday, and I've made some pretty, I would say, significant changes to my strategy and how I'm approaching the current season. So let's go into some of those details here on the clip, and then just as a heads up, this is obviously not financial advice. I am not a financial advisor, and definitely do your own research. But again, this is just my journey, sharing kind of what I'm doing, how I'm changing a little bit of my direction and my focus. And here's the clip. And until next time, keep stacking those stats. My strategy has changed as of this morning with the announcement of the SPS Ranked Battle Rewards, which is coming in 3 days. And what's interesting is the timing is quite convenient. They're targeting the 23rd is when they're going to try and go live with it. And they said if for some reason it doesn't work out and they need more testing, they'll push it back to the end of the season, like a week. But what's interesting about the 3-day window is to unrent your cards is basically like a 2-day maximum unrenting process, depending on the timing of when your cards were rented. And then it's a 24-hour cooldown when the card was last used. So you roughly have basically 3 days to unrent and be able to use your cards. Well, for me, it makes perfect sense. When I saw the news today, I unrented all of my cards because right now this season so far, for the first however many days it was, 3 or 4 days, I've been renting out my entire deck basically to get the DEC rental income, which wasn't a lot. Like the season was pretty much down for rentals. I was getting about $8 a day in DEC from renting out my deck. So I've turned all of that off, and I'm going to take back all my cards. And you might ask, why would I do that? Why would I sacrifice $8 a day in DEC rentals to bring all my cards back into my account? Well, the reason for that is because of the focus and season chest rewards chart that was published today. Now, if we look at what this chart tells us is that the SPS per season given away is 270,000 for focus chest and 270,000 in champion for season chests. The rough value there is 18,900 for champion for both of those, and 16,100 for diamond. Now, if you do the math very quickly there, like Champion League last season for, let's say, Modern, probably had like 100 players in Champion, roughly speaking, between 100 and 150, maybe max 200, but let's say probably more like 100. And Wild probably had a little bit more. But again, these are each being divided, here by champions. So let's just say we had anywhere between 200 to, on a very high end, 400 champion players. Well, what does that mean? That means if that maintains true for this season, if we take the conservative number of 200, so 18,900 divided by 200 players, it means that roughly from the daily focus chests, you're going to earn as a champion player roughly $95 in SPS by itself on average as a champion player, if you can stand champion and earn champion chests. Now that doesn't count the merits, the potions, and the reward cards. That's just $95 in SPS for a season from the daily focuses. And if you look at the season rewards, the same thing. You're going to earn, if you divide it evenly, and obviously some will earn more than others, and there's obviously RNG as part of that, but it's again about another $95 in season rewards per season that you're getting just from SPS. And if you look at the average SPS per chest, it's almost 18 SPS per chest in a champion chest, which is a lot of SPS. Like even if you value SPS only at 7 cents or 6 cents, let's say you value it at 6 cents, which is what it's around right now, that average champion chest is going to pay you like $1.08 in value at champion level for SPS. And it can be more, it could be less, right? But that's substantial. That's a lot more than you're earning in DEC. Now Diamond is the same, it's a little bit less. Basically it's 1/3 the value. So you're going to get about 6 SPS per chest instead of 18 in Diamond. And also that's probably because, well, the SPS per season is less. And there's also probably like 2 or 3 times the number of players in Diamond as in Champion. But again, going back to the original point, the reason why I'm unrenting all my cards is because I want to climb into Champion with my main account as quickly as possible and earn those SPS rewards. Because SPS is much more valuable in my mind than DEC long term. And I want to get as much of that as possible. So I'm going to be competing as high as I can go this season in the Champion. And I'm going to use all my cards at my disposal. And I'm going to do it in probably the wild format so I can take advantage of my wild cards. And what I'm doing is I'm basically sacrificing $8 per DEC in rental income and converting that into SPS income. So basically, if I, for example, value SPS long term, let's say I value SPS personally at 50 cents long term. Basically, for me to make up the $8 a day in DEC rentals, I need to earn 16 SPS. Basically to make that income up. Now, albeit one is a present day value, so I'm earning $8 in DEC present day value today, where the SPS I'm earning would be future value, but that's kind of like my bare minimum. So as I unrent all my cards and I see the rewards I'm getting, if I can average anywhere from 16 SPS a day or higher just from ranked battle rewards and daily focus chests, then I'm doing just fine. If for some reason I'm earning less than that, then I'll reconsider renting my cards again. But I do think I'll earn more than that. So that's my first strategy that I'm doing with this announcement of the SPS Rank Rewards. Is I'm getting into the mode where I'll be trying to earn, instead of DEC rental income, SPS income from ranked battles. And additionally, it'll now open up tournaments for me. So I'll be able to compete in tournaments and earn SPS in tournaments moving forward, and also be able to hopefully in the near future earn SPS in guild brawls as well. So that's change number 1. Change number 2 that I want to talk about has to do with LPs. Now, if we look at LPs, this is interesting, I think. So prior to today's announcement, I was in the SPS Swap Hive pool. And the SPS Swap Hive pool is giving me about 80.19% APR, which is excellent, still not bad. But after this change, what I did is I actually moved my LP position from SPS Swap Hive into SPS DEC. And you might ask, why would you do that? The APR is much lower on SPS DEC. You can see here that the SPS between the two pools is 7.83% for the DEC portion of the pool, and it's 46.55 for the SPS portion of the pool. So the combined APR is 54.38%, which is obviously lower than the 80.19% that I would get just by staying in the SPS Swap Hive pool. But there is one important thing to mention here, is that ultimately my goal by participating in the LPs is to get SPS. Is basically my bottom line is to amass as much SPS as I can get, and that's my goal. So I don't really care about the other portion of the pool. I don't care about my hive balance in the SPS Swap Hive pool. Similarly, in the SPS DEC pool, I don't care about necessarily my DEC balance of the pool. I just want my SPS balance to increase. And here's where, math or science comes into play. So if you look at the price of Hive right now in the market, Hive is actually pumped the other day, but it's come down. It was like about 65 cents 24 hours ago. right now, if CoinGecko cooperates, we would be able to see Hive is at 0.5563 cents, right? What do we know about DEC though? We know that DEC more than likely is going to climb back to peg or close to peg, and peg is 0.001. DEC right now is, well, it's had a pretty big pump, but DEC is up today right now. If CoinGecko would work, DEC is at 70.00705, which is up 27.2%. So if DEC is going to go back to peg, which is 0.001, it's roughly a 50%. When I actually got out of the LP and into the LP, it was at like 60 some cents or 0.006. But remember, to go from like 0.007 to 0.0001, it's a change of 0.0003, which is right now it's a little less than 50% increase, but at the time of when I entered the LP, it was actually a 50% increase. So why does that matter? Well, if we go back to the value of Hive, right, on the LP side, do I think Hive is going to increase 50% in the near term? That means Hive would have to go up basically 22 cents. That means Hive would have to get to 77 cents. Do I think Hive's going to get to 77 cents in the near term? No. Do I think that DEC could get to 0.001 in the near term? Yes. That's important because if I believe DEC can increase 50%, but I don't think Hive can increase 50%, that's a benefit to me as someone who wants to see their SPS position grow. Why is that? Because if the pairing on the LP, in this case DEC, increases 50% in price, right? That means my position of DEC in the pool will decrease, and if SPS remained the same price, my SPS positions, or the amount of SPS I own, would increase, right? And that's ultimately my goal, is to get SPS to increase. So that's why I moved into the DEC SPS pool, and that's the ultimate goal. Now, you may say, well, this is crazy talk. That doesn't make any sense. Why would you be doing stuff like that? And I would say it's actually worked out for me quite well. So far, just with the move into the DEC SPS pool today, and also making some LP moves in the last 48 hours when Hive back dollar pumped, I actually was able to increase my SPS balance by over 10,000 SPS just by liquidity pool kind of arbitrage, me doing nothing else, right? And 10,000 SPS, you know, having that SPS in my SPS pool now versus 5 days ago, that to me is a big win because, well, I'm moving in the right direction. Now, the last thing that I'm doing from a strategy change this season is I am trying to do what I can now while DEC is still below peg to level up guild buildings. You know, it's not the ideal time. The ideal time to level up guild buildings would have been, well, yesterday or any time before yesterday, but there's still value to be had there. And again, with SPS Brawl Rewards coming into play, I want to make sure the guilds that I'm a part of are getting advantage of the building levels at that discounted rate.
That's